Hello everyone, so today's video is about how you can get the physiotherapy registration in Australia. So there are a lot of steps to follow, so I'll guide you through each and every steps how you can go, because I was getting a lot of messages from you guys. You want to know how to get the registration process and what all documents you need, what all qualification you need to get the registrations. So I just thought of briefly explaining through video so everyone can get benefit out of it. So let's dig in. So as I told you, there are a few processes. The first step is about the eligibility assessment. So after eligibility assessment, you'll be getting the interim certificate. So after getting the interim certificate, you have two options, either to go for the limited registration or the written exam. So let's go through it together. It's quite easy actually, so let's get in. So if you just search in net, to work as a physio in Australia, so you have to be registered with the Physiotherapy Board of Australia. So it's like Physiotherapy Board of Australia. So you just click in here. So and go for the registration. So it gives you the information about, the things that you should know. There are the different types of registration process. So basically what you have to know is to work as a physio in Australia, you have to be registered with the Physiotherapy Board of Australia. For that, you need to get the qualification assessment, which you can get from Australian Physiotherapy Council. So if you just type Australian Physiotherapy Council, so you'll get this one. Just click on that. So this is the home page that you're gonna see, and as you can see here, so there are different tabs from which you have to go to the overseas practitioners, and here as you can see there is a getting started, standard assessment pathway, equivalence of qualification, assessment for skilled migration visas. So among these I'm gonna choose the standard assessment pathway because we have to do the eligibility assessment. So just click on the standard assessment pathway here, the second one, and then click in there. So when you click in there, this is what opens up. Go all the way down. So here's the pathway. So here are the 3 steps you have to go through. First step is the eligibility assessment, second is written assessment, and the third is clinical assessment. If you have to do the eligibility assessment first to get your interim certificates, so it says all the information, so you have to know. So for the eligibility assessment, it will cost you $1,100. So and it will take around 2 weeks after you submit all your documents, and after completing this you will be awarded with interim certificate. So if you want to just read more, here you go. So you get these things, and then so just apply for an eligibility assessment here. Just click in there and you go to this, and before you start the eligibility process, you have to register with the Physiotherapy Council. So here you go for the registration, and you just write your details like personal details, your name, family name, date of birth, country of birth, first language, your sex, and your contact details in Australia, of course. So if you're here in Australia, write your these things and your credentials, email address, and then register. You get registration. After that you get the email about your login IDs, because I've already got mine, so let me just put that one. So you're gonna get this message from the assessment group, where you'll get the candidate number, and then you get the login ID. So to log in when visiting our site, please click login at the top of every page, then enter your email address and password. So whatever email that you have given, so you have to put in that, and then just go log in there. So the same thing opens up. So here you just write your email ID. Then just log in. So there you go. So once you log in, so you get these. And then click here to continue. So you just have to fill all these here. So your qualification details, country of training. So these are the basic things that you fill out in any forms. So, and the required documents you have to submit online. So let's see what all documents are needed. So here is a degree certificate. So you need a degree certificate. That means the ODC, that's an original document certificate. So, and they say that you need it in English. So if it is in English, then just press yes. And if you don't have it in English, then you have to translate it in English and submit it. So yeah. So degree certificate, so English, you just have to choose the file from your computer which you have scanned. So if it's yes, then just choose a file and put it there, statement of results. And it should be in English, of course we have it in English, so yes, and then choose a file and save and continue. So accordingly, just fill in the forms. Save and continue and you'll get another form. So you just have to continue and upload your documents. So let me just go through what all documents you need for the eligibility assessment to get the interim certificate at first. So there is a fact sheet in there, so you just can go through it. So in the homepage of the Physiotherapy Council, so let's just go in there. So let me just go to the Physiotherapy Council again. Australian Physiotherapy Council, overseas standard pathway, and then so let's just click in the eligibility assessment here. So read more and you go there. So after you press that standard assessment pathway eligibility assessment, so go all the way down. Before you apply for the eligibility assessment, there is one small document here that is fact sheet. So just download the fact sheet first so that you have an idea like what all documents are needed. So it says pretty basically everything here. So once you read it, you will find out like what all is needed for the assessment. So basically you need a color copy of original documents, which should not be scanned copy of photocopy of your original documents, and it should include all the edges and corners and stuff like that. And the things that you need is a one copy of each. So you need a passport, a photo identity page, so the first page of your passport. If you have any change of name to your passport and your document, you just have to give the evidence of change of name. And third thing is a degree certificate, that's ODC. And fourth thing is a statement of results, so that's your whole everything, the mark sheets of all the years together. And then the evidence to practice it, you have to get the evidence to practice without restriction in your country of training, so the country where you got your qualifications. So from there you have to get the registration. So the people who passed from India, they need the copy from IAP, so Indian Association of Physiotherapy. Who passed from Nepal, they need the Nepal's license. So that's it for the eligibility assessments, and in 2 weeks after you submit all your documents, you'll be awarded with the interim certificate. You also automatically get the free insurance and also the membership with the Australian Physiotherapy Association as well. So after you get the interim certificate, you have two choices now. So either you go to the limited registration process, or you go to the written assessment process. So let me just briefly talk about the limited registration and the written assessment. So if you go to the Physiotherapy Council again, Physiotherapy Council. And just to let you know that you don't need any English like IELTS or PT to get your interim certificate, and you don't need any experiences for that as well. So let's just go here. So go to overseas practice now here, go to the standard pathway assessment, and then once you get your interim certificate, you can go to the written assessment. So here it's written, like for the written assessment, it will cost you $1,900, and the exam is held in March, June, September and December every year. So you just have to book the date for your written assessment if you are ready, and you give the exam. If you pass the written assessment, then you go for the clinical assessment, and this clinical assessment has 3 practical assessment. So they will be taking the ortho, the musculoskeletal, the neuro and the cardio. So all 3 assessments will be happening. So it will cost you around $4,124. Yeah, so but the thing is that you'll have to wait after you give the written assessment and you pass. You'll have to wait around 6 to 14 months to complete all your clinical assessments. So that is the full process of your registration in Australia. Once you pass all your clinical assessment and everything, you'll be fully registered in Australia, and you work as a full registered physiotherapy in here. But so before you give your written exam, you can also practice as a physiotherapy, but for the limited registration, of course. So you have to register with APRA. So I'll briefly explain you the steps that you have to go through to get your interim certificate at the first place. And as I've already told you, that you have 2 options after getting the interim certificate. Either you go to get your written examinations or you get your limited registrations. So let me tell you briefly about the limited registration process as well. So for the limited registration process, you have to find someone who is willing to supervise you under him. So there are some criteria for the supervisor as well. So they have to be registered with Physiotherapy Association in Australia for like more than 3 years. They should have their own clinical practice, so where they can supervise you. If they are willing to supervise you, guide you through the clinical practice you'll be doing in here, then you can apply for it. So there is an online form for that. So you should have 7 each band in your English test. You need a good conduct certificate from the country that you got training. So for example, if you've studied in India, then you need the good conduct certificate from India. And then also, if you are not originally from India and you're from Nepal, then you need the good conduct certificate from Nepal as well. So NHPC, and from IAP from India, for India. And yeah, you have to submit hard copy of all your documents. So all your hard copy should be attested by someone here registered, like who are in a medical field. And then you just have to submit everything to APRA office. The next thing that you need is the police clearance certificate, so criminal history check. So I think it's better if you get it from here itself, because APRA will be sending you a link for your criminal history check for Nepal and India, which you can just go directly there. It will cost you a little bit of money. I'm not sure how much it was, but yeah, it will cost you a little bit money from the site you'd be doing it. So, and that's it. All your police check and all your good conduct certificate, you're not going to get it. So you have to give the address of APRA directly. So it will be directly going to APRA from your respective countries. So if you are getting the good conduct certificate from India, then it will go directly to the APRA. If you're getting good conduct certificate from Nepal, then it will directly go to APRA, and also your police check too. And it will take around 2 months to get processed, and only if all your documents are good enough, and if all the documents are not submitted, then it might take a longer time as well. So the validity of the limited registration is 1 year, but you can update it like every year for 3 years. So within that time period, you should be able to do, if you want your full registration, you should be able to give your written exam and pass your clinical exam as well. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this has guided you a little bit. I hope a little bit, and I hope you get your registration soon. And best of luck. Thank you. Bye bye.